Hello, hello, good morning, everyone. It is Susan Brennan here for Growth and Grace. Every Thursday, 6 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Eastern. You Eastern folks have it nice over there that it's a little bit later in the morning. We're up early. If you're joining me from the West Coast, holla, what's up? Good morning. Good morning, Amy. Hi. I see people starting to hop on here. Welcome. We're in a little different space here. I have a guest staying with me, and she is getting ready at the moment. And so I didn't want to interrupt her getting ready routine and have her have to try to be like so quiet. When you're blowing your hair dry, you can't just be quiet. So I'm switching. So I'm in my room. So you guys get a little different viewpoint this morning. And the birthday dress that I wore on my birthday, and then some other of my longer dresses because they hang so long and my closet isn't tall enough for them. So I hang them here instead. So there's plenty of room for them to drape properly and not get squished and scrunched in the closet. So anyway, on that note, you guys, quick update because my last post was about my birthday. It was amazing. Can I just highly recommend that you design your birthday? Design your dream day. What would you love to do on your birthday? And then go do it. And I will also say, tell people that you're doing it. I'm seeing more people hop on. Becky and Kelly and Matthew and Val, good morning. Karen, I see you're on here. Good morning. Wow, who else is on here? This is so fun to see. Oh my gosh, hi. Oh, I'm loving this. I'm going to try this little, I can wave at people with just the touch of a button. I'm feeling a little distracted right now by this. This is neat. But I do want to give you a quick update on my birthday because something cool happened. And you guys remember that I had my birthday shirt, right? That I created that would allow me to go pet puppies. So I wore it all day. And then when I was at brunch, one of my girlfriends happened to be there and she'd happened to see my post. And so she came up and the back of my shirt says, help me celebrate. It's my birthday. And so she's like, oh my gosh, I thought that was you. And I saw your shirt and I knew it was you. And that's so cool that you're like out petting puppies all day and getting brunch and coffee and spa. Like it sounds like such a fun day. And she's like, that's so cool. And I said, well, when is your birthday? And she goes, well, it's Friday. So this Friday. So we're kind of birthday twins, basically. Same, within a week time frame. You're within 365 days of me. We're pretty much birthday twins. I'm just going to say it. And she was like, that's so cool. And I said, well, what would you want for your birthday? Like your dream day? What would you want? And she goes, well, my husband and I are going to Vegas, which is like a regular thing they do. They just both love doing it and they both enjoy like the getaway. And it's just kind of a fun, they let go and spend a little bit, do a little gambling. They said, she's like, I love playing roulette. So she's like, what I want to win $1,000. So I was like, okay, cool. She's putting it out there. And like, just put it out there. Think about what you would really love. And there might be a million different things. But pick some of them and make them happen. So that said, I don't know how she's going to make winning $1,000 happen. But she said they're pretty lucky. And she's going to go to Vegas and like keep playing. So I think she's going to have it happen. I think it's going to be a really good birthday. I wouldn't be shocked if she went above that based on what she shared. She might. Well, I don't know. Anyway, all that said, this is taking me a long time. Oh, Jennifer. Oh, hi. Oh, and Nicole. Oh my gosh, this is so fun. I'm going to actually dive into today's topic. That took me a long time to get into it, but just because I was distracted by my birthday dress, this flouncy thing that I got at a clothing exchange. I could take this a million different directions this morning. If you haven't done a clothing exchange with your girlfriends, do it. It's the best. Even if you feel like you're all different sizes, you'll be amazed at what different people pick and pull and put on and it fits. So clothing exchange, do it. But today's topic, this is what I really want to talk about, is confessions from a former, like, I'm offended by everything addict. Because that was me, you guys. I honestly don't know how I had any friends in college. I was offended by everything first, like offended, whether it was directed at me or not, whether it was like remotely related to me or not, I was offended by it. And I was so judgmental. Like, there was nothing anyone could do right, including myself, but like it was mostly redirected on everyone else. I don't know how I had friends. But what I want to talk to today is the being offendable part. Because here's the thing, on the other side of it, and where I'm living now, like just mentally wise, there's so much freedom from like not being offended by everything. Because you're all of a sudden like when you're offended by everything, you're choosing to take everything internally and personally, and like you're taking on the weight of all of those judgments, of all of those you know, like, well, judgments. I guess that's kind of the word I'm looking for. And when you're choosing to take that, excuse me, don't forget to hydrate. If you have water nearby, take a sip. If you are taking on all of that energy, it is heavy. It's a burden. And it's like distracting from all the things that you actually want to be doing in life. Like I remember feeling so anytime anyone said anything, even if it was a joke and it's not directed at me, I would be so like, I can't believe they just said that. And then I'd go judgy. And then I'd be like, I would immediately decide who that person was, like all the things that I needed to decide about that person to make them wrong. And to like, that person, like, no, thank you. And then I never would give that person, whoever they were, the chance to not be seen through that filter because I had already pre-decided. And so literally every person in my life, I had a filter of how I saw them based on one offendable thing that they said that wasn't even that offendable, you guys. Like once in a rare while, it was a really rude thing that someone said, and it was genuinely like designed to hurt. Once in a rare while. But here's the thing, for the most part, people are really good. For the most part, they're not trying to offend you. And here's the piece that I didn't get in college that I wish I would have gotten if I could go back and help college Susan. Well, there's lots of things that I would help her with, but one of the things would be to recognize that when people are giving you feedback, to like not be offended by it, that they're not giving you, when your friends, when people who care about you are offering some feedback or giving you feedback on, you know, behavior that you're exhibiting or, you know, ways that you're approaching a situation or, you know, your fashion sense that I really did not have figured out at that point. Good morning, Haley. Oh, Haley's one of my best friends from high school, you guys. She's such a beautiful woman. Haley knows. She probably experienced a little bit of me being judgy and offended in high school too. I don't think it just started in college, but thank goodness for good friends who see you through it. But what I really wish college Susan would have known is how to sense and how to really receive helpful feedback from people, knowing that it's to move me forward. Like people weren't giving me feedback to make themselves feel better. They weren't giving me feedback so that they could accelerate in life, so they could, like, them giving me feedback wasn't them stepping on me on their way up the ladder, right? But at that time in my life, I really felt like it was like, I really felt like, don't you dare give me feedback. I was so self-righteous. I was so, just, it like, there's nothing you need to correct about me, but if you want to work on some things on yourself, definitely do it because you're the one that needs it, right? Like that's how I approached everything. And it was so like, looking back, it feels so disheartening because I know I missed out on some great friendships and I know that I hurt people along the way. Being so like nose in the air, everything is like, not like there's nothing you could do to be good enough kind of thing. And so I guess, I know I'm kind of dragging this morning out a little bit and I'm feeling distracted. Bree, good morning. Melissa, good morning. I see you ladies just jumped on. Well, I think the main thing, if you're going to take away one thing, and I need to make a note of what time this one nugget is happening so I can direct people to it so they don't have to watch the whole thing. This morning got a little bit away from me in the video. But I think the one thing that I would want you to take away from this is if you're listening, people very likely are going to be giving you feedback, whether you request it or not. People in all variety of all like arenas of life are in some way, shape, or form going to give you feedback. And it's super, I think just the most helpful thing I could offer is to receive it through the filter of, they really want me to be my best self. Like they want me to be the best version of me that I can be. So they're offering me this feedback. And here's the thing. This is like the part that the pill I didn't want to swallow, but that since I've swallowed it has actually significantly improved my health. Just kind of take that analogy and run with it for a minute. Is that when you choose to receive feedback through that filter, even if that wasn't their intended purpose, like even if they were trying to hurt you, which again is honestly, it's really rare. Like most people are not. So if you feel like everyone is, you are probably currently in the I'm offended by everything addict stage. I'm just going to say it because someone needs, like lovingly, I'm just going to call you out. If you can choose to see, when you can choose to see that people really actually do want to help you move forward in life, and they're not trying to knock you down, they're not trying to, have you be down and out or like really make life hard for you. They're really trying to show you tweaks that can be made and areas where there's room for improvement. When you can choose to see through that filter, oh my gosh, it is so liberating. It's so liberating. So that's the main thing that I would love for you to take away from this, is just to choose, and it is a choice. If we let our feelings lead this, no, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. I have lived that, and that's the heavy piece. Like, it's horrible. So you get to lead your feelings in this, because sometimes you're not going to feel like letting that person's feedback in. But boy, when you can choose to see feedback through the filter of how can I use this to be my best self, you just watch your life unfold in such a beautiful way, because it's available right now. Like when you think of a conversation you've had recently where you felt offended, go back to the conversation. I'm not saying that every single thing that the other person is saying to you is 100% accurate. And they might be trying to dig at you. But there are usually pieces of truth in that you can take to move yourself forward. So if anything they're saying is causing you to feel like you're being knocked over, or that you're like, you would be tumbling backwards, then don't take that part of the feedback. Take the feedback that's going to move you forward and that's going to help you step into your best version of yourself. Take that. Like, you get to choose. And I will also say, you get to choose who you're receiving feedback from, like whose feedback you're letting in, right? So there are people in my life who absolutely do not agree with things that I'm up to. They don't, like, who are you to write a book about being an abundant wife when you're single? And I could totally listen to them. I could. They're in my life. They've said it. But I'm choosing not to, because I believe that I believe that the message in that book is going to impact lives and generations. And I get to be a vessel to bring that to the world. So I'm going to keep going forward with it, even if there are people giving me that feedback. So choose. It's all about choices. And I remember feeling in that time when I was like offended by everything, I remember feeling like I didn't have a choice. And I remember feeling helpless and like, oh, why is life happening to me? Like, this is so difficult. Everything's so hard and nothing's going my way. And I was like dramatizing everything. But you actually do have a choice in each scenario. And here's the kicker, and this could be its whole own topic, and then I'm going to wrap up. But even when the choice feels hard, or you don't necessarily like the options that you're choosing from, it doesn't mean that you don't have a choice. I'm going to say that again. Even if you're in a scenario where the choices feel hard, or where you don't like the choices that you're choosing from, like you don't like the options, it doesn't mean that you don't have a choice. So I really would love for that particular thing to land, because that's where the freedom comes in. When you recognize, like, wow, I don't necessarily like the solutions that are in front of me, like all the solutions I can think of. I'm not like excited necessarily about all of them or any of them even, but it doesn't mean that they're not available to you. It doesn't mean that you can't make a choice. So at the very least, I hope that you leave this video feeling empowered to choose differently and choose a different filter that you see things through, because at the end of the day, it's totally up to you to choose how you're going to receive feedback and to choose, like, and sometimes even still this day, I have to like self-soothe. Like I have to talk to myself and be like, Susan, dude, they were not trying to hurt your feelings. Like your friends, you guys are not trying to hurt your feelings. They're not. They're good people. So like let yourself recognize that and be like, okay, if I know they weren't trying to hurt my feelings and yet my feelings are hurt, which is on me, they're my feelings. They're not, no one else gave me their hurt feelings. They're mine. It's up to me to shift that and recognize like, oh, okay, so they said that. I guess part of it kind of is true. I do that. Okay, so now what can I do with that information to shift and start stepping into my best self, because they're reflecting it to me because I'm not in my best self in their experience, and they're sharing that with me. What a gift. Like you will get to a point where it becomes a gift. You will. It gets so good. It gets so good. So just choose a different filter of how you're going to receive the information. Choose to see it from a place of, they're wanting me to be my best self. What can I take from their feedback that will help me move forward into my best self? And also choose to recognize that you have a choice in those scenarios of who you're letting in and whose feedback you're listening to. And remember that you don't have to take the entirety of the feedback. Sometimes, you know, when someone offers you feedback, it's their experience of you. So it's all of their stuff, all of their life experiences, all of their filters are mixed in to their feedback that they give to you. So recognize that too. Like if they've experienced pain in a certain area, and this I will say is especially relevant. What's the word I'm looking for? It's especially obvious, I feel like, in business when you go to work with a mentor. If your mentor has not achieved what you're wanting to achieve, why are you getting support from them? Like, why are you taking their advice if they haven't even achieved what they're giving you advice on? Right? It drives me crazy. So don't do it. Like, recognize who you're taking feedback from. Okay, that's a whole nother thing. Whew, I can feel myself getting a little fired up with that. You guys, someone sent help for my hair. It doesn't know ever what it's doing, and I don't know what it's doing. But on that note, my hair aside, it's up to you to choose how you receive feedback and who you receive feedback from, and how you choose to let it move you forward, because it all can help move you forward. At the very least, feedback you receive can help you recognize, okay, well, I certainly know how I personally don't want to give feedback in the future based on how this person gave feedback to me. I didn't like that. So I'm not going to give feedback in that way. Let it, like, sometimes it's an example of what not to do. All right. With that, my alarm is reminding me again to wrap it up. So I'm gonna. And I'm excited to see you all next week, next Thursday. 6 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Eastern for Growth and Grace with me. All right? Okay. I'll talk to you then. Bye for now.